Jurassic Park. Now playing the PS7.
Ecto goggles with Ecto Buffer, Neutrona Blaster, and Water Zapper, each sold separately.
From the corner penthouse of Spook Central, all the way to Star Killer Base, this is Yes Have Some Podcast.
Do I? Yes, have some. Yes, have some.
You know, they told me you people were conceited douchebags.
The only place in the multiverse where you can love the book, hate the movie, but still buy all the toys.
I'm afraid you're just too darn loud.
I'm not looking for a friend. I'm looking for a Jedi Master.
What?
Please remember to hold on to your butts and get ready to get stressed. With your hosts, Craig Goldberg, Abigail Gardner, and Jacob Walsh.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Ghostbusters Interdimensional Cross Rip. Just kidding.
Whoa.
That's the extent of our rebuttal.
What? I thought I was going to do my Chris Stewart impression.
I feel like, let's just get into it. The Cross Rip are, I don't know what they are. They're our friends. They're our Ghostbusters podcast compadres. Mm-hmm. And they, their episode dropped on April 1st. And as an April Fool's joke, I don't like people impersonating us. That's not a joke to me. That's a tribute.
We're very upset.
They're okay.
They did a bunch of YHS covers, is what they did.
Yeah,
it was like
covers,
a bizarro YHS universe. Is how I felt.
Actually, I enjoyed it. Like, they talked about a bunch of stuff other than Ghostbusters. I was like, this is great.
Yeah,
There's so much to talk about.
I liked it.
I could never be contained to podcasting about one topic. I don't know about you, Jake.
it's hard. I just think it would be too hard to do it. We would end up talking. We talk about too much random shit. You know, it would be hard to. Listen, it was very fun. I love those guys. I'm glad they did that. But you know, like you'll be hearing from my lawyer. So
yeah, I'm upset that my representation was only there for like a minute and a half of the podcast. I feel like Troy's like infant daughter should have played me. Like they just should have had her record the entire episode. She's cute. So that's my note.
Jake, you know that your lawyer is Ron Daniels, who I believe is a sponsor of the Cross Rip. So there's a lot of
God, you're right.
There's a lot of weird.
Yeah.
This is going to go to the Supreme Court.
Something's going on.
It is.
It's going to get
It's
weird.
going to be a whole case. It's probably going to take a long time. Somebody's going to wind up in jail probably. Some serial will do a podcast about this.
About this moment in time.
I can't wait.
Somebody's got to go down there.
Da, 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 da.
Somebody's gotta go.
Oh, wait, that's Up and Vanish. Okay.
Well, cool. So thank you to the Cross Rip. That was a lot of fun. I hope their listeners weren't like confused. Even I was confused when I started listening to it because like they remade
That's
like
not my voice.
they
Right.
remade our intro that I think like Troy's wife redid Abby's voiceover.
Yes, which
It was
I like.
great. I loved it.
I've always wanted that to happen. I love his wife's voice. I think she has a fantastic voice. So yeah, I like it.
Abby was like, "Hey, let's just use that." I was like,
yeah,
"Stop it."
this new intro.
Although Troy did send me all the stuff he used. So
Oh, cool. Yeah.
thank you to those guys. We love those guys. We can't wait to hang out with them.
And now we're just gonna play the Cross Rip for the rest of our episode.
Yeah.
Just play that. Just replay their episodes.
It's our joke.
I'd have to go study their mannerisms more. I know that they do. Here, I can do it.
Do Chris Stewart.
Right, no, I'll do it. Ready? Hello, conductors of the metaphysical. Is that what he says? Troy says that. That's from Ghostbusters Answer the Call. We don't acknowledge that one around these pods. Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Ghostbusters
like
for
every
everybody.
5 minutes.
We do. We're obsessed. Listen. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Yes Have Some Podcast, episode 144.
Woo!
What?
We're only just beginning. I love it.
It's only just
We've only just begun.
Yeah, that song. Jake, I know that after our discussion last week, I'm never going to ask you how you're doing again. But I'm glad.
I don't even
Jake's
know what
fine.
we're talking about. What I don't even know what you're referencing.
I want Jake to wear a shirt that says, "I'm fine."
You said you got stressed when I would do the.
You don't like telling everyone how you're doing.
You're right.
Yeah.
So you don't get to participate.
So we're not even going to ask you how you're doing.
Okay, good.
No,
Good.
Jake, you went kayaking. You made it.
Yeah, I did. I went to Wakulla Springs this morning. I realized, like, hey, this is not that far from me, and they filmed Creature from the Black Lagoon there. Mm-hmm. So we had a couple days off work, so I went down and hung out with some manatees today. It was cool.
Yeah, dude.
Did you know that?
On your Instagram, I'm very jealous and excited that you got to go do that. Like, you saw...
Yeah.
Why was there... Manatee, is that, like, a normal thing to see, like, in the water there? That's kind of cool.
Yeah. They live down there.
That's neat.
I went to two different. So I went to the Wakulla Springs part, which is like a national park, and you can go swimming there. And it's like there's like a certain section roped off that you can swim in. And when I got there this morning, there were manatees like in that section,
dude.
And like it's like 120 feet deep at the deepest part. It's like the water, like it was like 50 degrees when I got there, but the water stays at like 70 degrees. So it was warm. I got in just like a little bit, and then, but you're not allowed to kayak in that area. So I had to like leave the park and drive like a few miles up the road and find one of those little like, boating ramp places and like get back in the water there. And yeah, manatees live out there. I was starting to get a little bummed out because I was out there for a long time and I wasn't seeing any, and I was on my way back, and I found like a small little pod of them and like just kind of hung out with them for like 40 minutes before I, went
that's
back.
That's adorable.
Cool.
Did you get him to sign anything?
They wouldn't sign my statue.
That's ridiculous.
Hey, I'm eating a fruit roll up right now.
Dude, I just had one and I am hyper. I just had so much sugar. That's why I'm so excited about these manatees that Jake's seeing.
Jake, the reason the manatees weren't there earlier in the day is because that's the time of the day where they select all of the topics for new episodes of Family Guy.
Probably, yeah.
That's a reference to South Park.
South Park episode.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Cool.
I see. I liked Fruit by the Foot more than Fruit Roll-Ups, but that's for my other podcast. Jake, that's awesome, man. Jake, you took some pictures too, wearing your creature.
I did. It was weird because I was like, okay, so I brought my Creature from the Black Lagoon mask out there, and I was like, well, I can't be where they filmed this movie and not take a picture of myself in this mask. But I was like, please don't let a bunch of people be out here.
Yeah.
So, like,
dude, they start taking pictures with you.
I got there right when it opened, and I was able to take a few pictures just like being silly. And there was nobody else there.
Nice.
Like I got there was literally nobody else there. And then I took a few more pictures once I was in the kayak, kind of going down the river. There just wasn't a lot of people out there today. There was, though, like they offer like a boat ride, and the guy was like, he was pretty convincing. He was like, you want to take this boat ride. He's like, they take you right up to a couple filming locations of not just Creature from the Black Lagoon, but also like some of the old Tarzan movies, and a few other things were filmed out there. And he was like, it's like a 45-minute boat ride. You want to do it? He's like, but you're probably going to want to come back at like noon and skip the next two boat rides, because the next two boat rides are going to be full of first graders.
Dude.
I was like, but like because of it, it was like,
you could have told him about the podcast. You could have promoted it.
I wish I would have dressed like Quint and sat at the back of the boat with a bunch of first graders, and they were like, "Who's that guy back there?" And then I'll just do like the Quint
nails on the
speech or
chalkboard.
something.
Yeah,
dude,
just scare a bunch of first graders.
I love it,
dude. That sounds like such an adventure.
Now I want to go back. I was already like getting enticed when you were describing this place, but I think
what do you mean go back? Were you there?
Go back. You've never been there. It's not that bad of a drive. Like it was all back roads. Like it was a cool. It was a good little drive, and it was like less than 2 hours from me. So that's cool. Let's do a family trip one day.
Let's do it.
The family trip to what's it called?
Wakulla, or it's Wakulla Springs, I think.
Wakulla Springs.
Wakulla. I don't know.
Yeah, the Black Lagoon. Cool.
Very cool. Well, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing those stories. I think people like Jake's adventures. You seem to have a lot of them.
Photos and videos.
A lot of creatures, a lot of reptiles, amphibians, all sorts of things.
All sorts of neat stuff like that.
Speaking of adventure, we watched some of Austin Powers Goldmember last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, you know.
Hey, no, that movie's funny.
There's parts that are still funny.
I was laughing hard.
You like Mike Myers.
I watched it recently too because it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, but also they tried to recapture the, when they did in the second Austin Powers, they do just the two of us with him and Mini-Me. And then they try to recapture it again with Hard Knock Life, and it is literally so
bomb.
good. No, it's just not as good.
No,
it's been so long since I've seen any of the Austin Powers movies that when I put this on, I was very confused as to I was like, is this part 2? How many of these were there? I didn't even know. I couldn't even remember which movie this was. You know, I knew it wasn't the first one. But I couldn't remember if it was 2 or if it was 3 or if there were 4 of these movies. Or it's been so long since I've seen the other movies that I was like, oh, well, where's the part with this going to happen? And then I'm like, oh, that's
the
I guess
other
that's
movie.
not in this movie. Yeah.
I'm from Holland. Isn't that weird? I like it. I'm going to watch the rest of it.
Yeah. It made me laugh.
There's some funny stuff in there.
Yeah, Mini-Me's still funny.
What? Hold on. Did you just say it made me still funny?
No, I said Mini-Me is still funny.
It made me
still funny.
Rest in peace, Vern Troyer.
Well, he's not anymore. But.
He was a very important mentor to Lyndon Porco,
who was
friend
having
of the podcast.
a blast this past weekend at a comic convention.
Yeah, at the New Jersey Horror Convention.
Very
we saw some video of Lyndon Porco doing some karaoke.
Yeah.
I want to hang out with that guy. Real quick, I mentioned it to both of you. I decided I was going to watch or rewatch Game of Thrones all the way through before the new season launches.
How you doing?
Made it through one episode so far. It's been a week.
Yeah, but that's a good episode.
Dude, there is... Okay, real quick.
There is some stuff in that first episode.
That first episode of Game of Thrones is very good. There's so much sex and nudity. It's almost over the top. It almost felt like a VHS copy of Lord of the Rings.
Oh my god.
Which I decided
the plot twists.
I put in the other day to see what we were actually doing.
Yeah. Can we talk about it or not?
There's a gun. There's a shooting.
They finish, they wrap up the plot.
You watched the whole thing?
Jake, it ends in a jail cell with the woman being convicted. It was
There's
amazing.
A court scene.
There's a court scene.
It was like an episode of NCIS. I was watching Game of Thrones, and I think I'm going to keep going because it's so funny because they first show the Starks, and I'm like, oh, what a nice family. I bet everything's going to turn out great. So I'll update everyone on a week-by-week basis. By the time this new season ends, I'm probably going to be on episode 3 of season 1.
I was going to say, are you going to make it? Because that's pretty soon, right?
It's like a week and a half. We got a lot. Yeah. This is
That's a lot to watch. That's a lot to watch.
It's a big month. We got this month Pet Sematary.
Oh, dude.
We got
tomorrow.
Shazam, which it's getting good reviews. I'm going to see it. It's getting good reviews. What else we got in April? We've got, besides the new trailers that just launched, probably going to get that It trailer coming up soon.
Ooh.
Game of Thrones, WrestleMania. There's a lot happening. Looks like our friend of the podcast, Zack Ryder, might be fighting for the tag team championship at WrestleMania.
Whoa.
We'll update everybody. We'll have to listen. I'm sure as soon as they have the match, he'll call us and we'll talk about it.
I figure he's going to wear that Yes Have Some shirt.
Yeah, I'm hoping he wears his Yes Have Some
beanie
shirt
to
the ring.
Cool.
So cool. So we got a lot going on. Real quick, we did want to let everybody know about Patreon. If you have not gotten in on the YHS Patreon as of yet, you are officially missing out. Don't wait another minute. What you're going to do is going to go to patreon.com/yeshavesome. For $5 a month, you can get in on these bonus episodes. Last week, we did Godzilla 1998, and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think people enjoyed it. I mean, that movie, love it or hate it, it's a big part of everybody's lives.
Yeah. For sure.
It was a turning point.
Yeah.
It's when the gun turned towards me. No, it's fine. So we had a lot of fun. So what we do on Patreon is we put up these bonus episodes, 2 to 3 a month for $5. You get all of them. The second you sign up, you get complete access to the entire archive, and that $5 goes straight to us, helps us pay for the hosting, pay for the equipment, pay for all the stuff that we're doing. We got a lot going on. We haven't even talked publicly about all the stuff we got going on, but there's a lot going on. Am I right or am I right?
You are not wrong.
I am not wrong.
I'm still not sure. What we're allowed to talk about publicly. So
I don't know. You'll all know soon.
True.
I don't even know if we've done it all. Like, are we still?
Yeah.
I'm very confused at what day it is.
Yes. Same here. I'm just going to sip my Dr. Pepper and enjoy my day.
You were in a kayak today. You've come home. So listen, if you want to get in on those Patreon episodes, please head over to patreon.com/yeshavesome. I'm going to just have to write that website down at some point.
Yeah.
Go to yeshavesome.com. We don't even own that. If you ever go to yeshavesome.com.
So now you understand how I feel when I have to tell people how to get to group therapy every week. I get stressed. You're like, what if it's the wrong one?
I've been trying to buy yeshavesome.com for a long time. Somebody owns it, and if you go to yeshavesome.com, it's just a GIF of Louis Tully. That's all that is on the website.
Hold on, I'm going there now.
That's amazing.
And we don't own it. So if you're out there and you own it, please give it to us. We'd really like it.
Let's get our lawyer on the phone. Ron?
It just says that.
Yeah.
And it's just a picture.
It's just a loop. So there it is.
Wow.
So thank you, everybody who has already signed up on Patreon. We really appreciate the support. And if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/yeshavesome and get in on those bonus episodes. Okay, cool. So let's do it, guys. We got a lot going on. A lot to talk about. We got some trailers. Got the Joker trailer we're going to be talking about. Got the Brightburn extended trailer. The Dead Don't Die trailer. There's a lot of really interesting movies coming out. I am very excited about some of these. I don't want to tell you which ones. I don't want to give away the
spoil it.
Some of them means more than one, though, right?
But before, I will say this. I've been very intrigued by this Joker movie since they first announced it. And the poster came out last night. They debuted some footage at CinemaCon. And I'm excited to talk about it here in a bit. I don't want to speak for the two of you, but I'm excited to talk about it.
I thought you were exciting.
I'm exciting to talk about it. All right. But let's talk about Ghostbusters. So we have not talked about this on the podcast. It happened after our last episode. And, you know, I talked to Sony recently. I said, look, we would really appreciate it if there's going to be big breaking news about the new movie. Can you put it out on a Tuesday? Maybe even a Wednesday late afternoon would be fine. But when this stuff hits on a Friday, you know, it's their loss.
Yeah.
You know,
if they don't want people knowing about the news, then they'll keep doing it the way they're doing it.
Yeah. We'll see what that box office comes back. I'm like, guys, you know, could have been a bigger weekend for you. Opening weekend.
You know, told everyone on Tuesday.
God damn it. Yeah. You can't throw us Finn Wolfhard on a Friday and expect big bucks. Cool. So let's talk about this. There was some casting news. We already knew about Carrie Coon and Finn Wolfhard. We got the third piece of casting. The official announcement came from Jason Reitman himself, who posted a picture of the family. McKenna Grace is the actress's name. She will play the younger sister of Finn Wolfhard. Both of them will be the children of Carrie Coon. The circumstances around this family are very under wraps. Nobody knows. There's a lot of speculation. We could talk about that. But I like her a lot. She's great. She's a great little actress. She was in Captain Marvel as young Captain Marvel, which she wasn't in it that much, but she's got these horror chops because she was fantastic in The Haunting of Hill House, which was my personal favorite television show of 2018. So when I first saw this, I was very, very excited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with you. She's great in that show. She I think, I remember when I was watching that show, I was like, who the fuck is this kid? Like, she might be the best actor on that show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's not saying anything bad about all the other people on that show. That's just saying, like, she was great in that.
Yeah, it's almost unfair. Which, I don't remember which young version, who she played.
I think she was Theo, right?
Yeah, young Theo. I just looked it up. Yeah, young Theo.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's absolutely fantastic, and I'm excited to have her be a part of this cast. I think she's adorable. And yeah, just seeing that family and seeing the confirmation of a cast it's just a good feeling.
You know what I like so far is that out of these three, so we got 3 confirmed cast members.
Yep.
And they're all I'm trying to think of like the best way to say this that doesn't sound, they're all actual actors and not just like funny Saturday Night Live people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're actors. And yeah, like Finn Wolfhard is like, he's got some, comedic chops and he's done some funny stuff, but he's also like, I know we don't have like a whole lot that he's in to go off, but in Stranger Things, he plays a very different character in Stranger Things than he does like in It.
He pulls on your heartstrings.
All three of these actors do like really good dramatic acting, which even though like we don't know anything about the plot of Ghostbusters, beyond what the one sentence that they're telling us, like, I think just based on those actors alone, we should know, like, okay, this is going to be so different.
And it's weird to me too, because like, there still seems to be some backlash, like people saying like, I don't want a bunch of kids running around. Like, what do you like? I don't want this to be Goosebumps, or like, why can't they just get a bunch of adults being Ghostbusters?
Well,
and it's just like,
you know what? Fuck all those people.
Well, the person who wrote the article like made comments about like how having a family in a rural town doesn't feel very Ghostbustery, or like they were basically talking about how New York was such an integral part, and they also seem to be pretty pro reboot. And honestly, this article, which was on sciencefiction.com, I think the person who wrote it is probably not, they're probably ignoring the fact that whatever information that we have about this movie that's come out regarding the cast or the plot, like that little synopsis, it's probably only covering the first 10 minutes or 20 minutes of the movie. I think in my mind, I feel like it's going to open up to a bigger scope and probably go back to New York and probably pull back on those heartstrings and those feelings. I'm very excited about this cast, what you pointed out, Jake, about their acting chops and how they're all dramatic actors. And that's something that I found very heartening and exciting. And also the fact that, I know we're going to get to this, but Finn Wolfhard, that he had to audition and there wasn't just like oh, hey, you're in, like, because we've seen you in other things. Like, they really wanted to see him in those scenes that, and it'd give him like, they're taking it more seriously. I feel like the process leading up to this movie is something that's like, has some weight to it and gives me confidence.
Well, and I was talking to John Yerkeba off the air. And the comment I made to him is that literally every single thing that has happened with this movie so far feels like the polar opposite of how the information was rolled out and communicated for Answer the Call. So like with Answer the Call, it was like, okay, Paul Feig's going to do it. Maybe it's just a rumor. Oh, he is going to do it. But it wasn't confirmed. And then it was like, they're saying it might be all girls, but what does that even mean? It might be a reboot. It might be a sequel. Oh, okay. Paul Feig just announced his entire cast. Yeah. And then now there's a leaked script and it sounds weird. And it's just like right off the bat, the communication was weird. And this feels more like every single piece of information I've heard, it's been like delivered in a very like deliberate manner. And there's like a lot of thought going into how these announcements are being made, when they're being made. Like, we have 3 cast members and a teaser trailer, and we have no idea what this movie's about. And that's pretty crazy, because that's not how movies are marketed these days. And Abby was just alluding to the fact that there was an interview at CinemaCon with Finn Wolfhard, who I'm assuming was there for It Chapter 2. And he mentioned that there's a ton of secrecy. He has not read a script, and he had no idea he was auditioning for Ghostbusters when he was auditioning. God, the poor kid thought he was going to be in this new indie drama called Rust City. Like, what if he was bummed when he found out? He's like, oh, I'm doing Ghostbusters? I thought I was going to win an Oscar or something. It's not Ghostbusters 2. You're not going to win an Oscar.
Yeah. But that's what I watched, it was like an interview on MTV where he was saying the scene basically didn't have any like it didn't have any jargon or verbiage that would make you think it was Ghostbusters. They were talking about like proton packs or whatever.
Well, I do like the idea that there are people that think like, okay, I'm auditioning for a role in Ghostbusters. Here's your first line.
Here's your proton pack.
Listen, you're Egon's son. It's time to get the team back together. Here's a PKE meter.
Oh God!
Like,
if that's the movie, then I'm not excited.
Never mind. I'm not gonna say what I was just gonna say. Oh, I'm getting good at like this like filter thing. It's really working out for me. I'll tell you guys off the air.
Okay.
We'll talk about it on Patreon.
Text me.
I'll text you both. So McKenna Grace, just to circle back to that as well. She was young Tanya Harding in I, Tanya, which is just more dramatic chops. I guess she was in Amityville: The Awakening. I haven't seen that. And she's also in the new Annabelle Comes Home movie, which, Jake, I know you have strong opinions.
I'll be there.
But it is cool that they're getting, like, she's a young actress and she's done, like, she's experienced in horror, which is interesting for me. Because the one thing we all said about the last Ghostbusters movie, and a lot of people, it's so crazy. People have such different perspectives on, like, quote unquote, what makes a Ghostbusters movie. And like, maybe that's why it's been so hard to nail down this third movie for so long, because for some people it's all about the comedy. It's a comedy and that's it. For some people it's about the scary elements. It's about the ghosts. For some people it's about the equipment. For some people it's just Bill Murray or bust. So like, I guess Ghostbusters means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but I would be lying if I said that I have not been this optimistic and positive about any Ghostbusters related project basically since the video game. And when it comes to a third movie, like, ever. I mean, I know it's easier because like it's actually confirmed and it's happening, but like we're so close to it and it's so like delicate that nothing's upset me yet. Nothing will upset me, but there's nothing that I've even raised an eyebrow at yet. It's just been all like, oh, I like these actors. Yeah. I like Jason Reitman. I like this teaser trailer. I can't believe it's happening, but I'm very excited.
Yeah.
But does that like, I don't want to be the guy who are we kidding?
You are the guy.
It's like, I don't want to keep talking about it, but I feel the same way you do, Craig. But do we feel that way because of how bad everything with Answer the Call turned out? Like, was Answer the Call ultimately so fucking bad that we're just like, anything is better? Like, anything is going to be good.
Well, okay, so that's a valid point. I think we should all talk to that for a second. So, there is that definite feeling of like, I can't even believe this is happening. So it just, the fact that it's set in the original universe and like, can I just vent for 1 second?
Yeah.
Do it. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
These people who get on Facebook and complain that they haven't announced Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson being in the movie, like, shut up. Just stop. They're gonna be in the movie. Like, Dan Aykroyd will be in this movie. Like you have nothing to worry about. Like, they're not gonna make a Ghostbusters 3 and have most of the original cast still with us and just be like, no, we're not doing. Like, Jason Reitman is not doing that. So I have no my fear or worry or concern that I had with the last movie isn't there right now because. Listen, I would have been the first person, like, I think I said this on the podcast, like, when people used to be like, oh, maybe Jason Reitman will direct a Ghostbusters. I'm like, God, you don't know anything about anything. Step away. But it really is kind of unprecedented. Like, I would have lost the bet of, like, who will direct the next Ghostbusters. But because he's so close to it, he's a lifelong fan, and he's also an extremely talented filmmaker. Mm-hmm. Like, if they said, hey, this next movie is going to be a passing the torch film and it's going to be at the firehouse and we're going to cast, a new team of Ghostbusters and it's just going to basically be that boilerplate passing the torch movie that everyone's always talked about, I would be like, cool. You know what? It's a new Ghostbusters. It's the original universe. We'll get some closure. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But to me, the mystery around the plot, the fact that it's going to take place in a small rural town, and that we saw the Ecto rotting away in a barn somewhere. Like, to me, it opens up the door to so many like interesting storytelling things that I feel like we never got to see any of the other scripts. Like, we never saw the Alive Again script, and we never saw the other Ghostbusters 3 script that Gene Stupinski and Lee Eisenberg worked on. Mm-hmm. But the one thing you always heard from like Paul Feig and others is like it just felt like a rehash. It felt like they're trying to recreate the first two movies again. Yeah. And now whatever this movie ends up being, I don't think it's going to feel like the first two Ghostbusters. No. And I think that's a good thing.
You're getting me super hyped, honestly. Like, listening to you talk, I couldn't agree anymore. When it comes to, I feel like this is, I keep going back to my main defense against, like, people saying that this, well, we're not sure, like, why are you getting your hopes up for this movie? I think that story of Jason Reitman, when he shared the story, was it with Ivan Reitman, that like it brought everyone to tears kind of a thing. Like, this was a big emotional, heavy storyline. That gets me really, really excited. And then also to think basically that like, I love Ghostbusters so much that like this is what I want to see. I want someone who loves it just as equally to be exploring it in a way that like it's being explored now, and I just feel like everything that's come out about this is pointing to this just being a good movie overall. And I think whether or not we're comparing it to Answer the Call, I think that I'm trying to think if I'd be excited about this movie if Ghostbusters wasn't the name attached to it, but I don't think that's even a fair thing to do, honestly.
Right. But to me, and Jake, I'll throw to you in a second, but to me, like if this movie does have I think we've all everybody's come to this conclusion that this mystery family will somehow be related to Egon Spengler. Will it? I have no idea. It might not. But I do feel like that this movie will have some of the like emotional heart and value that you see in like a movie like E.T. or I shouldn't say that it will. I hope that it feels like E.T. or Close Encounters or just kind of that vibe where, listen, there's a lot of Ghostbusters fans out there that would be happy with, 4 known actors running around New York with slightly upgraded equipment fighting different ghosts and just be a rehash of the video game. That's not that interesting to me. Like, I would rather see a cool story set in this world that I love in seeing some of these old characters. And if it does go the route of getting some closure with Harold Ramis and Egon, and if the passing the torch is more of a family thing than just we hired 4 dudes off Craigslist, one of them's Bill Hader and Jason Sudeikis and, whatever, like the stuff that everybody, listen.
And the passing the torch and the family stuff gives me like Force Awakens vibes, honestly. And like the way that we've just seen the shots of the Ecto in that teaser trailer, that feels like they're opening up more room in the saga kind of a thing than extending it to a bigger universe, like in a very cool way. So,
and real quick, I can't remember if this was on the podcast or during my one-on-one conversation with John Jacquet, but we were talking about how like Ghostbusters 2 is great, but at the end of the day, it's kind of it's not that different than the first Ghostbusters. And then and then Answer the Call came out, and Paul Feig was dead set on doing something different, and he kind of just made the first Ghostbusters again. Like, we've had the same movie 3 times. Team gets together, fights some ghosts, nobody believes them, nobody likes them, then they have to save the day, and something giant walks down New York City. Like,
yeah,
I'm ready to see something else on film in this universe. Watch, it's going to be the same thing.
By the end, yeah.
Giant Paul Feig walking down New York City.
I have started I'm excited about everything we're hearing so far, but it's also like so early to tell anything. And like Abby, you were just saying, like, would you be excited if it didn't have the Ghostbusters name attached to it? No, because there's nothing to go on. You wouldn't be excited because all you would know is these 3 actors are going to be in a movie together.
I'd be excited because my favorite subgenre of films are families moving back to small towns. All of them, like Critters. I guess they already lived there. Okay.
The Shining. It's not the same.
I love The Shining.
I know you do, but that.
So, any more on this before we move on? I think we touched on a good amount of I mean, there's not a whole lot. I believe
it's been touched.
Yeah, we touched it.
We touched it. We new shirt. YHS touched it. I feel like we talked a little bit about the Ecto, like they did, and we've had so much going on, but if we didn't touch on it, somebody had like I guess a 1960 Cadillac that they sold to Sony that they'll be using it. They're rebuilding a Hero Ecto 1A out of it, and they're remodeling the old Ecto 1A, and they're cutting one of them. Oh, listen, I don't know the details. Just know that there's going to be some Ecto 1s in this movie, and because they're cutting one open for interior shots, maybe we'll see some new parts of it that we've never seen before.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Crossrip covered that one in depth, so
I don't think we talked about it at all. Yeah.
I mean, the details were there was a guy who had an Ecto for sale. He did not have an Ecto for sale. He had I think a 1960 Cadillac Futura, which I guess is extremely similar body style to the 59. Not a Cadillac guy, not a hearse guy, so sue me. Anyways, I think a good friend of ours, Adam Marish, was actually trying to buy that car. I think that's public knowledge now. He's been building a Ecto 1 forever, and it's almost done. And he wants to build an Ecto 1A as well. So more power to him, but he did not buy this car. It was sold to Sony. So this is another step in the right direction that Sony was keeping their eyes out. The production was like, hey, we want to, we want to get our hands on the real deal and rebuild. Because I don't know if they're going to, the one that they keep at Ghost Corps, I don't know if they're going to use that in the movie. Like, I think they used it for the trailer, but like, they're restoring the original Ecto 1A, which has kind of been rotting away for 20 years. And I guess from a timeline standpoint, the Ecto 1A would have been the last vehicle they used. What about the video game? Sorry, I just imagined somebody said that. It was a modified Ecto 1A. They replaced it with the original Ghostbusters logo, but you could tell much. Anyways, so yeah, I don't know what they're going to do, but like, dude, if they go to the barn and uncover it and it's got the GB2 logo on it, I am literally going to keep watching it and be excited. I'm not going to leave the movie there. But it would be great. Because we all know the Ghostbusters 2 logo is the most amazing / dumb thing of all time.
It is. It is.
So there's a lot going on. And the movie goes into production in about 2 months. We got FanFest coming up. I think it's safe to assume we're going to have a lot more news rolling our way. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get, something in the next week or two.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
all right,
something.
there you go. Cool. Next. Guys,
Next.
Thank you. Next.
What was that?
Ariana Grande.
Oh,
okay.
I don't think she'd date me.
I'd hang out with her.
All right.
I
wanted to bring this up. This wasn't on the rundown. But The Twilight Zone is back. Jordan Peele is producing The Twilight Zone. It's on everybody's favorite channel, CBS All Access.
Woo! We signed up.
What channel is that? What number?
Oh,
this guy
I'm glad you guys signed up.
Go to the library.
This guy at work was like, no, Craig, if I have regular CBS, I can get all access. So I was like, you can for $10 a month.
Yeah.
$10 extra.
I heard from someone on Instagram that like you can sign up for a free trial. So they were just going to wait till it like all piles up and then binge it. And then.
Yeah, too bad you could die. Like,
yeah,
people never think about that.
Then you can't watch it now. Way to plan ahead.
So, people are like, I don't understand why you would see a movie on the first night it opens. Like, just wait a couple weeks. I'm like, have you ever thought about, dying?
Death.
Yeah.
Death
or
is real.
Yeah, I've got a couple reasons why you don't want to wait. You want to go opening night because the people who go opening night respect the movie and it's a good crowd. And I just realized how very important that is specifically recently because I think there was a couple movies that we waited till a couple days afterwards and it's just like a nightmare. So yeah, see your movies opening night.
Yeah, because you could die.
Yeah.
That's my number one reason.
It's real.
Also,
it's
Avengers
real.
tickets are on sale. But you probably knew that.
Yeah, hope you guys got some.
Yeah. Let's talk about Twilight Zone. What'd you guys think? Let's not spoil it, But let's just give some, because I know a lot of people probably haven't seen it yet. But we talked about Jordan Peele and Us last week. He's on the brain. I just want, I'm excited. I like The Twilight Zone. I'm glad it's back. I think it's a really well done adaptation.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see more. I thought both of those first episodes were great.
Yeah. I completely agree. I was posting on my Instagram when we were watching those episodes. I gave them 100 and the emoji 100. I really, really liked them. Don't make fun of me.
You can't give it a 75 emoji.
It's only 100. That's the best part. I enjoyed both episodes. I think the second one was a little bit more intense and a little scarier, but they both have that like resonating factor where you're kind of mulling them over the following day, and like they were both really kind of stuck in my head. So that's what The Twilight Zone is best at, and I just think I got so excited seeing Jordan Peele like on screen popping up and like hearing the music and seeing the intro, and it's got kind of that just all the good feels that The Twilight Zone had, and it's obviously Jordan Peele, so the music's good and it's just well shot. So I recommend it highly to everyone. Go and spend that $10. It's worth it. That's it.
Jake, any thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree. We're not spoiling these. Okay. I thought they were both really good. I liked the second one better. I started off thinking I was going to hate it for a choice they made because it's kind of like a remake of an original episode / an episode they did for the movie. But I ended up really, really liking it. And they both like fit right in with, if these were black and white and, made back when the original would be, like, it just feels like a straight up continuation of the original series. So. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I see a lot of people, there's always been comparisons with Black Mirror and Twilight Zone, and I think if you're a Black Mirror fan or a Twilight Zone fan, or if you've taken a stand against one, I would say, like, Black Mirror, for one, usually there's like a technology element that's kind of the main.
That's Black Mirror's thing. Yeah,
right.
Like Black Mirror's thing is that they are all 100% like
the fear and danger
technology based. Also, Black Mirror is very dark. Like they are.
It's like more like nihilistic.
Twilight Zone is dark and creepy, but it's like fun,
humanitarian.
Creepy.
Also, like I feel like there's good messages and heart, and like it's kind of uplifting sometimes.
Black Mirror has
specifically that first episode of Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone had that.
Fuck pigs, so.
Yeah,
I said we weren't spoiling it.
That's gonna be good. That's that first
there was
episode.
A quote, and I don't remember who said it. I was reading it. In general, Black Mirror seems to have a little bit more of a cynical view of society and humanity as a whole, and Twilight Zone's a little bit more like, you can find some positive.
The Kick the Can episode, like there's some nice little bits. Kick the Can, yeah.
Directed by Steven Spielberg.
It's fucking Spielberg.
Star of Austin Powers and Goldmember, Steven Spielberg.
Yes, he is in Goldmember. Dude, it's such a product of its time. I love it.
So yeah, check out Twilight Zone. And Jake, I didn't know if you said you were going to see Us again, and you did. Before we move on to these trailers, did you want to talk about that at all?
Sure. I did go see Us again. And I didn't really come out of it feeling any different. Like I still really, really enjoyed parts of it. And the parts that I liked, I don't think I didn't come back and be like, I didn't dislike them. I didn't like them. I don't know. I feel like I came out just exact the same way. Like the stuff that bothered me about the movie the first time, it still bothers me. Like it's not one of those like, oh, I see it. I couldn't put everything aside. Like the things that I had issues with they're still pretty big issues to me. And it wasn't enough for me to just be like, no, fuck that. This movie's amazing, because it's not, but it's good,
Yeah.
Right. Well, we won't.
I don't know. I won't. It's not one that like I'll watch it again, but yeah.
I feel you, but I think that my feelings, like I can't stop thinking about it, and especially with watching those 2 episodes of The Twilight Zone. I was watching clips of Mad TV, literally, honestly, and reading like everything about Jordan Peele on Wikipedia yesterday, which is always a sign that I'm pretty obsessed with something. And I agree with you, Jake. Still, like there are parts of that movie that don't lineup. I was literally talking to Andrew Schaefer about this earlier today, friend of the podcast, because he said he gave the movie a 7, and I gave it an 8.5 on our last episode. I feel like because of my obsession level with it, the amount of times I've listened to the soundtrack and how hard I've gotten into that, and just into Jordan Peele's world, I feel like I might need to bump it up to a 9. But I still think it's not perfect. I know, but I know it's still not perfect, but like I feel like a connection to it that's very deep. So that's where I stand.
Good.
Yeah, that's good.
I like the one where she was like in space and didn't remember her life and all that. This is a new character I'm debuting. It's called The Guy Who Watches Marvel Movies But Has No Idea What's Going On.
Oh, she's like in space?
It's like, all right, there's this guy, and I think he's British. He's got a hammer, and it's like, tight, dude. All right, let's move on. You guys like it? I could keep going.
I like that one better than some of the others.
Hey, name an MCU movie. I'll do one more. Put me on the spot.
Ant-Man.
There's like this guy from Clueless, and like he gets small, but it's like he's a criminal, but like he loves his family, and then it's like so hilarious.
I think you need to see Ant-Man again.
Wait, do one more. I want to see how good I get.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Have y'all seen that Fake Office Leslie Knope one with the guy, and he's like married to the girl, and like he's in it, and like, but he's with these aliens, and like they also love classic rock.
Okay. All right.
That's good.
Guardians. It's fun.
We're losing we've run out of things to talk about. Finn Wolfhard. Finn Wolfhard.
5 stars. Get Finn Wolfhard back.
Dude, he's such a little asshole too, in a good way. Like he carries himself like he's kind of badass. I like him.
I
Thinks he is. Yeah.
No, he is.
Oh, come on, Jake.
Jake, we're gonna be hanging out with Finn at Fan Fest. It's gonna be Finn Fest.
Finn Fest.
Ghostbusters Finn Fest. Wait, are we making shirts?
Yes.
Ghostbusters Finn Fest.
I'm writing it down right now.
Thank you. Thank you
Finn
for that.
Fest.
Also write down. I don't know. I'm bringing my copy of Gone Girl just in case Carrie Coon's there. Get signed. Oh, Jake, did we want to talk about our plans? Our picture plans?
What are you? I don't know what you're talking about.
Remember who's going to be at FanFest?
Oh. I mean, we can talk about it.
Should we talk about it?
I don't think I'm going to do it, but I think it's a funny idea.
All right.
Go for it. It was your idea. Do it.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know what you're talking about.
So there's a whole Linda Blair thing on our podcast, right?
Oh, now I do.
You probably, if you're listening, you probably know about it. How like she didn't want to sign Jake's statue, and he was like, "Fuck that!" And then like got her picture with him, and like in the picture, he's holding the statue, unbeknownst to her. We really got her good.
Mm-hmm. We got her.
A couple episodes.
We got her.
We got her good. Dude, we got her. Dude, she's been erased from The Exorcist. She's not even in it. We got her. It's like Twilight Zone spoilers. Anyways, so Jake, a lot of people don't know this, is a very diehard Alanis Morissette fan. I don't know if diehard is the right word, but you like her a lot.
Yeah. No, I do. Yeah.
Yes.
Diehard's a good word. Yeah. I love Alanis Morissette.
Yes.
And Dave Coulier is going to be at...
oh my God.
Dave Coulier is going to be at...
I'm just going to go up to him and be like, how dare you?
Sir.
I'm going to wait till he's eating dinner.
And
I'm going to call him.
Like me.
I'm gonna order a Jagged Little Pill T-shirt to wear in my photo op.
Oh my God, that's what I'm saying. How are we gonna get Dave Coulier?
Cut it out,
dude. I'm gonna wear a shirt that says Lori Loughlin paid for my college education. And get a picture
Thank you,
of Dave
Lori.
Coulier. Dude, our entire trip is just about how are we gonna prank Dave Coulier.
Dude, we gotta get him. We're gonna get him.
Dude, I'm gonna get a shirt that says the third best Venkman with an arrow pointed towards him. God.
That is fun.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I like that.
Also, word to the wise, when people call him Uncle Joey, you sound like idiots. He's just Joey.
Yeah,
he was never
Joey.
an uncle.
Yeah.
Oh right. Boy.
Cool.
I'm gonna get a Just Joey shirt.
And for everybody who has no idea what we're talking about, there's a famous Alanis Morissette song called Wait, what's that song called? You Ought to Know. You Ought to Know. It was like her first giant hit. And it's about her ex-boyfriend who happened to be Dave Coulier.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
So naturally, I'm going to get him to sign my copy of Jagged Little Pill.
He's like, I'm not going to sign this. You just get in his face and go, I'm class 10.
I think he would.
I'm a class 10, motherfucker.
Yeah, class 10. You're going to do what I want.
Dude, I'm getting all my autographs to class 10 Craig.
Class 10 Craig. Pretty Craig.
To pretty Ghostbuster Cadet Craig. Dude, I'm going to just straight up ask Dan Aykroyd. I literally am going to be like, hey, so when's Ghostbusters 3 coming out? Just hear what he says. Oh, boy, we got something big planned for you, buddy. There is literally 100% no way that Dan Aykroyd has read the script of this movie. He would have talked about it on some radio station already.
They won't let him, yeah.
There's no way. Oh, the kid from Stranger Things. Oh, Venkman's going to be in it. It's going to be huge.
There's probably someone whose job it is to like keep him from all those facts.
Ivan Reitman.
Oh, yeah.
And Eric
Reich.
Like,
they're going to have Secret Service.
Do you think they probably have Dan Aykroyd, like, they were like, all right, Dan, we got to do a new Ghostbusters. And he brings Ivan into his home where he probably has one room of his house that's just full of Ghostbusters 3 scripts. They have to hire somebody to go through all of them and then just not tell Dan Aykroyd which pieces of which scripts they're using. That way he can't talk about it.
I got it. They're so worried about Dan Aykroyd blabbing and spoiling Ghostbusters 3 at FanFest that we're going to get there and they're just going to have him frozen in carbonite.
They're just going to be a defrosting ceremony. And now like he can engage with you.
Like at the beginning of DuckTales, like they jump into the all the
coins.
Yeah.
All the coins. Dan Aykroyd has that, but it's Ghostbusters 3 scripts.
Boom, boom. How's the song go? Wait, I got it.
Here in Duckburg.
I got it. We're gonna go to hell now. Ghostbusters hellbent. We'll rewrite history with vodka crystals. Ghostbusters Dan. I hate myself right now for everything I just did. And I did it for our audience.
I loved it.
Me too, yeah.
Okay. You guys want to talk about the Joker?
Yeah.
No, let's talk about something else.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And now time for the Joker. Todd Phillips, director of Hangover 3 and a couple other movies, like Hangover 1 and 2. Road Trip, Starsky and Hutch, lots of comedies. He is doing the standalone origin story Joker movie that, by all accounts, has no other ties to any other current DC plans, is very much its own thing. It's being described as a character study of somebody who is mentally ill. And we got our first trailer today. They debuted it at CinemaCon yesterday. And there was some major reactions. The reactions I read were all across the board. It was not like, sometimes like there's a trailer, like an Avengers trailer or something. Everyone's just like, yeah, I'm excited. Looks great. Like this was like, I saw everything from holy shit, this looks like the greatest movie I've ever seen to this is awful. I can't believe they're doing this. And basically everything in between. So, but I don't care about anybody else's opinion. I care about ours. So we all watched the trailer. None of us have talked about it. So this is all new. I'm very excited. Jake?
Yeah. You want me to go first?
Before telling us what you thought of the trailer, what was your even before you saw the poster, like up until yesterday, what was your thoughts and anticipation about this movie?
I like Joaquin Phoenix. Whenever that first, like we got those first like pictures and the leaks of him, I was like, well, that looks cool. Like he looks different. But also like I don't have any expectations because DC is a fucking dumpster fire of movies. Like it just is. It hasn't been good in a very long time. And I don't care how many times you tell me, well, this is different. We're trying something different. I went and saw Aquaman. Like, these movies are garbage.
Is Aquaman the one with the guy from the first episode of Game of Thrones I watched?
So I wasn't like, I just didn't care. I just didn't care. I was like, whatever. I'll probably see it. I'm intrigued just because it's Joaquin Phoenix, and he's usually pretty good. And it's the Joker. Like, everybody wants to see the Joker. So I was just like, whatever. I didn't have any, like, I wouldn't say that I'm, like, excited or waiting for it,
Okay. Then you watched the trailer.
Yeah, then I watched the trailer, and I feel the exact same way. I could take it or leave it. Like, I could take it or leave it, man. It's a fucking, like, it's a fucking trailer. I can't, like, the trailer looks fine, but it's a trailer. The movie could still fucking be garbage. Also, like, are we sympathizing with the Joker now? Like, what? I don't understand. Am I supposed to feel sorry that kids are beating the Joker up? That's stupid. The Joker is getting beat up by kids. Sounds great. I'm in. I like Joaquin Phoenix. He looks great, whatever, but it still just looks like I don't care. I just don't care.
You heard it here, folks. Jake does not care.
Just doesn't care.
Just don't care.
Abby?
I'm going to go see it.
Yeah, I'm going to see it. I'm definitely going to see it. I watched this trailer, I think 3 times. I thought it was a good trailer. I thought it seemed creepy and jarring. I'm not like the Joaquin Phoenix, I could take or leave, but I think that he seems very
Have none of you seen Walk the Line?
earnest in this. It's not my favorite. Sorry.
I didn't like Walk the Line.
Of course you didn't. Go back to your manatees.
Do people like Walk the Line?
It won, like, Best Picture or something.
So what? That doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
I like Johnny Cash, and I like Joaquin Phoenix
fine.
even
My
more.
mom loves that movie, so whatever.
All
it's
right.
fine. Yeah, so for me, I don't know. It's
All
not.
joking aside, I do like Walk the Line.
Yeah, it's whatever.
I hear that Batman coming.
I like some of the other people that are cast in this movie. I like Mark Barron. I like Zazie Beetz and Brian Tyree Henry. I'm looking at those names right now because I'm on the Wikipedia page.
Oh, yeah, there's another actor. He's pretty decent. Robert De Niro.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fine trailer.
What's the last time you saw Robert De Niro in a movie and you were like, that fucking Robert De Niro is good?
Meet the Fockers.
Meet the Joker.
You can't even fucking name anything.
I love Robert De Niro.
Fockers. Yeah.
You loved him 20 years ago when he was making good movies. Now he's fucking in DC's trash fires.
Oh, the trash fire. I don't think this felt like a total trash fire. I felt like it felt like a Christopher Nolan ripoff, and I felt like they actually... It was weird. The last shot of the Joker, I was like, how did they get that footage of Heath Ledger? Because that's what it felt like. Like the positioning, the way that Joaquin Phoenix was walking with like his cigarette, like all ambivalently through the destruction and mayhem. That feels like Heath Ledger's Joker, and that feels like Christopher Nolan's universe, which isn't a bad thing necessarily because I did enjoy those movies, and it's better than what we've been getting from DC. But
yeah.
I wouldn't say that this movie or that this trailer's got me just like super duper jazzed because I don't know. It just doesn't have anything that's pulling at me. So just honestly, the music was pretty fine, pretty nice. I liked some of the sequences. It looks like
I will say this
Joker
real
movie.
quick. So remember how like forever trailers all were just doing like the woo 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 woo, like the deep bass drop thing. Now every trailer has like piano sad music, like it's just like a thing that everybody's doing.
Yeah.
Cool.
My reaction to the trailer the first time I saw it, because they're playing that song Smile,
Yeah.
I was like, I watched it with a guy I worked with, and I was like, hey, isn't that the song that Veda's mom sings at the end of My Girl 2 when she's watching those old films? He was like, what are you talking about? And this other guy was like, I'll tell you how. This other guy goes, I had to quit after My Girl 1. That ending got to me. And I go, what? Where Thomas J just goes to the woods and the movie ends and everything's fine? Okay. He gets killed by bees. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yeah, go do it. Let's hear it.
Yes, I do agree that in the dark depths of Gotham where poverty runs rampant, you might see literal trash fires because people are trying to stay warm. I loved it. I thought it was great. It was what I expected it to be. Like, I think Joaquin Phoenix is an amazing actor. I think I'm not going to compare him to Daniel Day-Lewis, but I think he's I think he's an upper tier method actor who takes his craft very seriously and he's well respected. And I think I like the Joker. I love Batman. I think the Joker's a great character. There's only so many ways you can tell, the Joker is the Joker. Lord knows they tried something last time with Jared Leto that people didn't. Maybe some people did like it. I don't know. I didn't. I think it looks great. I mean, it is a trailer, and I thought the Suicide Squad trailer was great. Most people did, and that movie turned out to be awful.
Right, right.
So, but what I like about this movie specifically is that it's a low-budget movie, and I feel like they probably gave a little bit of creative control to the directors, to Todd Phillips and the writers and everything. And like, I'm not going to say, oh, it's going to be so special or whatever, but I think it's going to be fun and entertaining. And
yeah,
it'll probably have some kind of messed up stuff. And like, as far as like, are we supposed to sympathize with the Joker? I have no idea. Like, I don't care. Like, some people are just bummed because they don't want the Joker to have an origin story. I'm like, sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. Like the Killing Joke, he does. Everybody likes the Killing Joke. The first Batman, he does.
I mean, I was about to say he had one in the first Batman movies.
Yeah, he fucking kills.
That doesn't bother me.
That doesn't bother me.
I think as a trailer, like if I look at the trailer like objectively and try to not think about DC's past, it is a good looking trailer. Like, it looks good. It's well put together. Joaquin Phoenix is pretty great. It's just hard to separate that from everything I know. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to just look at it for what it is and not the fucking like baggage that it's carrying.
Right.
Because of everything else.
So what I like is that this is the first DC movie since Man of Steel debuted that is 100%. It's not in this universe. It's not connected. There's no Aquaman. There's no.
I like that too. I think that's a smart move.
I think it's a smart move, and what I wonder is, what if it is really good, and they want to do more of them, and like, do they bridge that to the new Batman movies that they're doing and stuff? Who knows? But like, I think having that clean slate is a really good thing.
Yep.
They also debuted footage of the new Birds of Prey movie at CinemaCon, which people seemed really into. I'm very confused what they're doing with that because that movie has Harley Quinn in it. Mm-hmm. Harley Quinn's also supposed to be in the new Suicide Squad, which is supposedly a complete reboot.
Yeah.
And also,
it's all confusing.
Jai Courtney said he was going to be in the new Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
What?
I'm
I bet James Gunn's like, oh, are you?
Oh, you are?
Is that what you think?
Is that what you, is that the conclusion you've come to? Because I haven't. I directed that movie with the guy from Parks and Rec with the aliens who like classic rock. I think you're not going to be in my movie. Sweet callback to my earlier stuff. Good. Nice. I'm excited about Joker. I thought the poster was great. And, hey man, I hope it's great. I'm not rooting against it. There's been times with DC movies where I'm like, I kind of hope. Like, every time I see somebody say how good Shazam is, I'm like, damn it, what if it's great? What if it's awesome? I don't want to be one of these guys thinking Shazam is awesome. People keep comparing it to Big. I love Big.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens.
Are they comparing it to Big because it's literally like the plot? Is
because
that
it's the plot of Big
becoming an adult? Is that why? It's not like, all right.
Nah, I didn't say Big. I feel like I said something else. Can't think of it. Jai Courtney. I don't know. We can move on. I'm excited about Joker. Let us know what you think. Get in Yes Have Some Group Therapy. Actually, before we talk about the next trailer, let's talk about Yes Have Some social media.
Group Therapy.
Instagram, Twitter, at YHS Podcast. I just put up a live Instagram video today unboxing my brand new Mondo Stay Puft Marshmallow Man Tiki mug, and I had never ordered a Tiki mug from Mondo before, and I gotta say, it is nice. It's bigger than I thought. It's very well crafted. Congratulations to them for all they do. But more congratulations to me for buying the Tiki mug. Yeah. So if you want to see that, head over to Instagram at YHS Podcast. Same as Twitter at YHS Podcast. And of course, Facebook.com/YesHaveSomeCast. And the official Facebook group for Yes Have Some is Yes Have Some Group Therapy. Abby?
Yes.
How do you do it?
It's a closed group, so what you gotta do is log into Facebook and search for Yes Have Some Podcast. Go to our main page, scroll on down, you'll see Group Therapy. You'll click that and ask to join, and I will probably approve you, or Jake will, or Craig will. And then once you're in the group, you can post any quality content that is related to our podcast. You will see lots and lots of stuff there. I think Dan Harshman put up like a Joker trailer thread. A lot of people are commenting on that. So head on in and yeah, it's very easy and it's a very good group. We keep it quality.
Yeah, and also, sorry, like 5 people posted the Joker trailer at the same time this morning, so I deleted 4 of them randomly. So you didn't do anything wrong. Just a lot of people wanted to talk about it and post it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And I posted a bumper sticker that I got from one of our listeners, Adam Sloman, the Pike High Towers, my co-pilot, which is an awesome sticker, and I love it. And I put that up, so I want to say thanks.
Very cool. Yeah. Very cool. You guys ready to talk about some more trailers?
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the trailer for the brand new James Gunn produced movie called... What's this fucking movie called? Brightburn. I lost my notes. I keep wanting to call it Bad Boy Superman. That's not what it's
Bad
called.
Boy Superman.
Bad Boy.
Bad Boy. I keep wanting to call it Bad Boys 3 Superman.
Evil Superman.
So we had gotten a trailer for this a while back, but there was an extended trailer released this week. This movie was supposed to come out like 7 or 8 months ago.
Wow.
And then James Gunn we got in trouble for tweets from like 30 years ago or something.
He did, yeah.
So everything got pushed back and delayed, but now it's coming, and looks like a cool cast. I mean, it literally looks like somebody was like, we should make a movie where it's Superman, but instead of good, he's bad.
Yeah.
That's 100%.
That's 100% what it is. And
yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
And it looks better than any Superman movie we've ever gotten.
Yeah. Abby, I'll throw to you first on this one.
Yes. Well, first of all, yeah, that's exactly my first note is it's like Evil Superman. Spun wildly out of control is exactly what I wrote down. I love Elizabeth Banks, and I obviously love James Gunn. And I love Pam's ex-boyfriend from The Office. I don't know what that is.
Whoa. Fiance.
Oh, yeah, ex-fiance, you're right. And James Gunn used to date Jenna Fisher, so that's all fun.
Whoa. They were married.
Oh, you're right. Wow. Damn. Thank you.
You need to get your relationship straight.
Dude, I do. I really do. I'm really happy that James Gunn is back, and I'm really excited about this movie. I liked this trailer. The extended trailer, it's very, very creepy. And, like, I know that the premise of, like, a special kid with special powers isn't exactly brand new. I'm just excited to see James Gunn's, like, take on it. And I think I probably need to watch Slither, because I haven't seen Slither. And I just wanted to throw that out there, because I want to watch it in preparation for this movie.
Cool.
Yeah.
Jake, what'd you think of this trailer?
I think it looks really good, man. First of all, Abby, you should watch Slither. But this looks more... So Slither is a horror film, but it's also very funny. Slither is like... It's a comedy.
Okay.
This movie does not look like a comedy at all. You know what I mean? Like, this looks straight up like a fucking scary alien horror movie. And I think it looks cool, man. It looks fun. It's like one of the big what ifs that, you know, what if Superman was a bad dude? And hey, the answer is that it makes him instantly more interesting and fun to watch.
A lot less like Henry Cavill.
With a mustache?
Yeah. It looks cool to me, man. Like, it just looks fun, and it looks like a weird little different horror movie. I'm into it.
One of my all-time favorite YHS moments one of the most unexpected Jake moments in my history on this podcast was when we all saw Justice League. And Jake was like, I was like, dude, Jake is about to rip into this fucking thing. Get your popcorn. And Jake was like, I like that scene with Superman where he was like fighting everybody. I was like, what? What is happening? I think this movie looks cool. I'm not familiar with the director. His name is David Yarvesky, but it looks like it was written by Mark and Brian Gunn, which are James Gunn's brothers. Mm-hmm. So they're keeping it in the family. Yeah. It looks super creepy. Yeah. Like that kid is straight up killing people. And like there's a scene in the trailer where he's just like flying through the walls. Yeah. Like back and forth, like ruining the house. I loved it. I was like, this is great. Like,
were you like, when that part happened, I was like, that is the scariest part to me because I'm like, there goes the DTOFs. There goes my, shelves.
Hey, you don't know the half of it.
You do not even know. Craig would not be able to handle Brightburn.
I had a little DTOF meltdown right before we started recording.
Oh, really?
Well,
let's talk about it.
A couple DTOFs with a barge on top of it right behind the door in our toy room. So the door sometimes can hit it.
That's why we were running late tonight.
And so sometimes when one person comes in the toy room excitedly and pushes the door open, it strikes a DTOF and then like sets everything off balance and everything falls.
I set up my entire Star Wars Black Series collection on 3 risers and a DTOF. It is absolutely beautiful. And
it's dangerous.
At one point today, of course this happened because I was like, hey, Abby, it's so cool. None of the figures have fallen over yet. It's really neat.
I was my punching bag to test it. You're like, oh, you're hitting it pretty hard. Nothing's falling over.
So, like 20 figures fell over. Hey, that was my stress. Of course, I blame the cat who had nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Jonesy, get out of here.
Well, Jonesy tries to get in the bottom shelf of the DTOF all the time.
Yeah, he loves it.
He thinks he's a collectible cat. Anyways, imagine a normal 7-year-old throwing a tantrum. Now imagine a 7-year-old with the powers of Superman throwing a tantrum. Just flying through the walls. Like when a kid... My favorite thing that kids do is when they're like in their car seat and they get mad, they just start banging their head on the back of the seat as hard as possible. I feel like that's what's going to happen in this movie, but he's going to be killing people. This movie looks awesome. Comes out May 24th. I'm very excited.
Yeah. It had some gross moments, like when the lady who worked at the restaurant, like the server got like the glass shard in her eye, and I could barely watch that. That was fucked up.
I love original movies and the fact that it's horror and like, of course, everybody's going to compare it to like Superman, but like, what if it's a low key, like, what if it's in the DC universe and they trick Jake into liking a DC movie?
Hey, if that's what happens, then that's great. Good for them,
dude. This is what's gonna happen.
I mean, it's not like you said this earlier. Like, I don't go in wanting to. I'm not like I don't want to hate all the DC movies. They just all suck. You know what I mean? Like, it's not my fault. It's not. I'm not the bad guy. Like, I'm not the one making shitty movies one after another and just like shoveling them out. That's not me.
I want a Jake shirt that says that on the back, and the front it says I'm fine.
I'm not the one who makes shitty movies one after the other and shoveling them out.
I'm just saying, like,
we're actually all part of the problem. Hey, how much money have we put? Like, I've paid for my ticket for every one of those damn DC movies.
Yeah. Me too. I because I believe they can do better, and I'm gonna keep going and watching them until maybe Joker's good.
Hey, no, I think Shazam's gonna be good, man.
Yeah, maybe. Sure.
Let's move on.
My problem. Okay, well, I'm gonna talk about it for 1 second. Shazam might be great, but the problem is that like I don't fucking know who Shazam. Like that, it's like. Their one good movie is going to be the character like I don't give a fuck about. Like, I like Batman, like I've always like gone to see the Superman films, even though Superman's not my favorite. But like Batman, like those are always fun and great, and there's so much good stuff you could do with Batman. And those are the movies that suck. And then like let's make a character that maybe not the general public knows anything about be the movie that's the good movie. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't give a shit. I want Batman to be good. I don't give a shit about Shazam.
Dude, you should say that. If Shazam's good, you should walk out and ask for the manager and say that to the manager. We'll film it. I don't give a shit about Shazam. I want Batman to be good.
I want the Batman movies to be good.
Actually, if like at a restaurant, like at a restaurant, if like the food's cooked wrong or not, if they don't like it, like they'll just yell at the server and it's clearly not the server's fault.
Yeah.
I love the idea of yelling at like a 17-year-old kid who's like the manager at the movie theater because not because you didn't like the movie, but because you liked it. That's so funny to me.
You want to send your movie back?
I fucking loved Shazam, but my problem is I don't know who the fuck that is. Hello, everybody. Craig here. Well, unfortunately, we hit a couple technical difficulties and we lost the last 2 to 3 minutes of audio there right at the end, but I did not want to leave you hanging. So, thank you so much for tuning in this week to Yes Have Some podcast. As a reminder, please make sure that you're heading over to iTunes and leaving a 5-star review, as well as let us know what your thoughts are on the podcast. We love hearing from everybody. We love knowing what you think, what you love about Yes Have Some, and we really appreciate you taking time out of your day to leave those 5-star reviews on iTunes. Make sure that you are checking us out on social media as well, at YHS Podcast on Instagram and Twitter, and of course the official Facebook group, as Abby so eloquently put it earlier, Facebook Yes Have Some Group Therapy. We will see everybody next week. We're going to be talking about Pet Sematary and a whole bunch more stuff for the Ghostbusters Interdimensional Cross Trip. See, I had to bring it back. It wasn't just a one-time joke for Yes Have Some podcast. This is Craig on behalf of Abigail and Jacob Walsh. Goodbye. Have a great week. See you later.